Hello, welcome to an episode that discusses social media and the ethical issues the media faces. I am Dr. Pragati Paul, a senior assistant professor at AJK Mass Communication Research Center, Jamia Millia Islamia, specializing in development communication, research, advocacy, and traditional media. Today, we will be discussing the ethical issues of social media and the laws laid down to protect the users. Social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and others have drastically altered the pattern wherein people, organizations, social groups, etc., share and engage as well as discuss information and ideas. These platforms provide a stage for expressing opinions with a wide range of audience, ensuring that there won't be any censorship or interference of a gatekeeper or an editor. When we discuss about the traditional platforms like newspapers, radio, television, we can see that the steps that start from expressing a viewpoint or an idea to engaging the final viewers with a strategized piece of work tends to be slow and complex process. The storylines must be designed and approvals need to be taken in order to investigate on the story. The sender needs to convince the editor so that the message is approved for publishing. However, the case is not the same with this form of media. Every person can be a message creator and editor. Individual content can be immediately released and copied on various websites. However, this fast and instant nature of social media has created a number of ethical concerns. Some of these we will be discussing through this chapter. Now let's start by discussing the objectives of this specific episode. The objectives are: first, to discuss the concept and importance of social media in today's digital age. Second, to explain the ethics and issues concerned with ethics in the world of new evolving social media. Third, to understand the IT Act of 2000 and its importance in the digital era. To enlist guidelines necessary for ethical use of social media. The introduction of new technologies and the rise of information technology has opened a new world of communication in the past 3 decades. The internet, the World Wide Web, mobile apps, and smartphones have brought us closer and made the term new media vaster in its concept. There was a time when the difference between the traditional and the new media was easy. However, with evolving technological advancements, the field has become vast and ever-changing and is no more one-dimensional. Social media is not only evolving our way of interaction with our environment, it is also transforming the way we do it. Social media enables sharing of content, data in several ways. This includes texts, photographs, videos, contacts, locations, audio, graphs, and illustrations, encouraging each operator to engage with the content posted online in a profounder and exclusive manner. The social media handler must have the ability to understand the meaning and essence of all the information, but should also be aware of the drawbacks of the excessive sharing. There is a variety of actions such as content sharing, emailing, social networking, video sharing, virtual gaming, and even hacking that can happen online. A possibility of cyber attacks in the form of phishing, hacking, and trolling exist and can make the experience uncomfortable. Therefore, Now we will understand the ethics that one should follow while using social media, the laws meant for protection of users and the dilemmas of the media. Now let's look at social media in a greater detail. Kunz 2012, social media is a generalized term for a group of online software tools that allow for increased interaction, authorship and development of online content by any web user. The term includes several renowned websites, for example, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and Snapchat. It also includes blogging, microblogs, wikis, podcasting, delivery apps, etc. Social media has introduced a variety of new modes for groups, organizations, and individuals to interact, comment, and share on information, ideas, and beliefs. The users of this media do not need to go through editors or gatekeepers to publish their information. This becomes an issue of concern as unfiltered information can lead to conflicts. Unlimited amount of content creation happens these days, and it is essential that internet stays a transparent and defends the rights of the content creator who contributes to the exchange of knowledge. This allows the fostering of creativity while knowledge is made accessible to all. Though the creation of content is essential, it is still a challenge. Constant creativity is not an easy achievement, and so creators are often tempted to duplicate or adapt content that is effortlessly available. Therefore, the issue of ethics arises and covers important dimensions of ownership, privacy, and intellectual property. The ethics of social media can be defined as a set of ethical guidelines that describe our cyber conduct. These ethics guide us to use social media while ensuring that it doesn't cause a breach of any law or of anyone's rights. These ethics provide a model for code of conduct to creators, online businesses, distributors, and even regular social media users. Understanding digital rights and content control. In the age of information, digital rights have become extremely essential to both the content creator as well as the consumer. Both the content creator as well as the consumer require protection and privacy. Since it is easy to claim ownership, the creator rights are discussed more passionately. A new technique known as the digital rights management (DRM) has evolved to ensure solution to these issues in social media. This process makes it tough to replicate or spread data in an unauthorized way. DRM includes some shared systems like copy control, access control, and digital watermarking. Watermarking in simple terms means when a text or an image is watermarked or linked to the original work, and as soon as one clicks on it, they are redirected to the original work. Access control can be seen on several websites wherein only a part of the complete information is available, and to read further one must pay like Kindle, Google Books, Script, etc. Copy control can be seen on several Google images or PDFs wherein a simple right click does not let you save an image or copy a text. Ownership and copyright issues. As soon as you open a page on the World Wide Web, one can have access to any information, work of art or photographs. This is great when one wants to research for the purpose of journalism or creating articles. However, this also creates ownership and copyright issues. One way to ensure that the copyright concerns do not arise is to respect a creator's work and pay for their content. However, piracy and concept of inspiration is slowly fading the importance of ownership. The internet is flooded with a vast amount of content, and several conventions exist that outline the ethical limitations in regard to use of content accessible online. The content posted online automatically attains a copyright that continues for a period of 70 years post which it becomes accessible for public use. Creative Commons. This is one organization that works towards providing accessibility to individuals towards existing work of art or creativity and intellectual property, while enabling them with the right to select the settings of making their work accessible to patrons. In other words, as soon as user adds any new content online, they can stipulate the method in which it should be consumed by stating if the content is permitted for sharing, is it free for download, modifications, etc., or available partially or unavailable. These instructions are given using symbols and attributions that have become a common means of communication on the internet. Free versus open content. It was specified by David Willey that content available online can be open both as well as free. It is essential that one learns to distinguish amongst the two. Content that is made available on cyberspace and can be easily retrieved, reused, revised, reallocated, recreated and reserved for future use is termed as open content. Free content is different from open content. The meaning of free is that one does not have to pay for getting access to that content. However, free content is not always open, as open content can be downloaded and reused via editing it, whereas free content can be used under ethical and legal limitations only. Free content lets individuals use the benefits of the content, study it, make copies of it and distribute it for further reference or derivative works. Privacy and ethical issues. Consent is basic to any media production. Users and creators of social media should understand the ethical constraints that limit the process of uploading, distributing, sharing or misuse of any content, such as photos, audios, video clips, music, written articles, authored books, or any academic property attained through virtual or physical means without the marker's consent. However, one can frequently see widespread violation of these basic ethics. Private information of relatives, family and friends is often shared on social cyberspace through tags on photographs or locations or videos without seeking obvious consent of the people in question. Digital news and ethics. The face of news has changed in the recent times. There are 24/7 channels and then there is recurrent online news and digital newspapers followed by mobile journalism. These outlets need to increasingly generate news, and it is not always that all this news and information may always come through reliable sources. Therefore, a lot of times news on digital platforms can be inaccurate or generated to sensationalize a small incident. In this case, it is essential that the reader is well informed, knows that they must look at other references as well, and the content creator mention the source of news. When we talk about images, today is an era of GIFs and edited videos. A lot of times videos and photographs published do not show the actuality of a situation. There is easy capturing and sharing of data along with instant editing through mobile apps. This can lead to build-up of fake news, and it requires the readers to have a perspective to judge the righteousness of a news. To avoid the spread of fake news and to save the integrity of the news outlet, many companies have established clear guidelines to encourage the workers to utilize social media. It is frequently spelled out as social media policy. Now let's discuss ethics for online marketing. Online spaces are platforms to connect people with each other and with what's happening around the world. However, in the recent times, it has increasingly become a space for online sellers and entrepreneurs to sell their products. There is a lot of data transfer that happens when you enter an online space. As you follow or share something, that information gets stored, and often marketer and advertisements reach you through that data based on your browsing history. Use of cookies on the internet is one of the ways this is done. This unknowingly tracks the data of the user. This ruins a person's experience but also is considered unethical. Several online pages have hidden hyperlinks or contextual links ads that lead to the tracking of browsing history. Paid reviews and sponsored content are also examples of unethical marketing that leads to misleading content for the reader, which is again a gross violation of ethics. Several times users may also encounter content as pop-ups or ads or alerts that can be disturbing and may turn out to be a virus. Users should apply special discretion while handling such content. Another common technique used to gain the attention of the users is search engine optimization. However, it is much ethical and is used to broadly to redirect the users to visit an already visited site. There are several other guidelines that have been created for the same. The Institute of Advertising Ethics (IAE) have listed them as: advertising material of all forms must have a common objective of uploading truth, and it must serve the public needs. Clear distinction should be maintained between press releases, corporate communication, advertisements, and sale collateral. The producer should disclose each term honestly and evidently, as the fine print at the end of each document is usually overlooked by the consumer. If an online selling website uses cookies to track or detect the user data, private record settings, and online movement, then it should be declared to the user before the user begins cruising. The placement of ads should not obstruct the user view in any way. Lastly, advertisers must stand by the state, federal, and local laws of advertising, whether they are selling online or offline. Now let's discuss ethics and rights of online users. Protocols for following ethics and boundaries are not just created for content creator but users as well. However, these are unsaid or undiscussed steps that should be followed by the user. There is a variety of content available for consumption to a user. It is upon us to select the right kind and block the one that can create some kind of violation of ethics, for example, liking some kind of violent videos, violence against animals or nature, liking something that promotes hatred against a section of the society. Some more issues facing the users of social media and cybercrimes: identity theft, inadvertent self-disclosure, cyber disinhibition, phishing, bullying, etc. The social media user is still unaware about the way data is used and how data trails work. Once you sign up on any website, your data instantly gets stored on automatic fields like in Google. However, it is upon the user to decide and remove this automatic saving function. Unfortunately, as the entire world has gone digital, we users do not switch this auto function off due to our own comforts and to save time. Social networking sites are often linked to third-party apps and users. Thus, this makes our data stored on one site available to the other, and the trail follows. Our virtual identities are easily available to several data mining sites. This happens when we do not go through our privacy settings as expected to. Secondly, the terms and conditions of several social networking sites do have the option of us not accepting the sharing of data with third party. However, if we do not accept these terms, then we won't have access to this site, thus making it impossible for the users to make an informed choice. The only option left here is to make sure that each user protects themselves through personalized privacy setting and reveal as less information about themselves as possible. Now we'll be discussing the do's and don'ts for social media ethics. Do not register on a website or an app without reading the terms and conditions. Do not accept or open messages from strangers. Do not send or forward unverified messages, rumors, if claims are not verified. Do not pretend or assume identities of other individuals or obtain their password through false means. Do not autosave your passwords, addresses, credit card details, etc. on any website. Never send your data or photographs to unknown people. Do not download pirated copies of software or songs, movies, etc. Privacy should be respected whether your own or others' users. Avoid using someone else's IT resources without their permission. Retrain the amount of information you uploaded on social networking sites. Use cyberspace ethically. Protest about unlawful interactions and actions if found to service providers and authorities responsible. Therefore, as discussed, there are several ethics that should be followed while using social media, and each ethic is plagued by its own issues. It is very tough in today's time to control data or information, as once something is uploaded on the internet, it is hard to take it down completely and remove it from the cyberspace. Hence, one has to be extremely careful of their content. To protect the citizens in this cyber era, the Information Technology Act of 2000 was created. Information Technology Act 2000 applies to the entire India. It was passed by the Indian Parliament as a preliminary law to deal with cyber crimes. It is a legal framework for electronic governance, and it prescribes the regulations of the issuance of digital signature. The Act gave legal status to electronic document. The law gives legal acknowledgement to digital signatures. The law created a justice dispensation system for cybercrime. It provides legal clearance, gateway, and recognition to all e-transactions. The Act was passed to give legal authorization to e-commerce and e-governance as well. It protects your online privacy. According to this law, any crime that involves an IT device or a computer or a network located in India, charges can be levied against foreign nationals as well. The law suggests penalties for several cybercrimes and scams, frauds through digital electronic format. It protects you against cyberbullying as well. It gives legal recognition to electronic bookkeeping and accounts in an organization. The Act also amended certain sections in the IPC like the Indian Evidence Act 1872, the Bankers Book Evidence Act 1891, the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. The Government of India recently banned various Chinese apps under the Information Technology Act like TikTok, other Chinese apps banned owing to the Indo-China border crisis. Offences under the IT Act 2000. Section 65. Tampering with or destroying computer source codes. Section 66. Hacking. Section 66B. Retaining stolen evidence. Section 66C. Password stealing. Section 66D. Cheating by device. Section 66E. Publishing someone else's images without consent. Section 66F. Cyber terrorism. Section 67. Publishing obscene information. Section 67A. Publishing images of sexual nature. Section 67B. Child pornography. Section 68. Failure to comply with the Act. Section 69. Refusal or failure to assist in the decryption of data. Section 70. Breaking firewall. Section 71. Misrepresentation. The IT Act 2000 underwent an amendment in 2008. This amendment introduced the debatable Section 66A into the Act that penalized the sending of offensive messages, and Section 69 that gave power to the authorities to intercept, monitor, and decrypt any deviant information shared by the cyber network. There are certain key points of the Section 66A. Section 66A gave legal and governmental authorities the power to charge and arrest anyone who is accused of posting offensive content on social media. The amendment was passed in the Parliament without going through any debates. A person can be charged if the information shared by them is considered to be information that is grossly offensive or has menacing character. According to the Act, sending information the sender knows is false or the purpose of annoyance, inconvenient, obstructing, dangerous, insulting, injuries, criminally intimidating, promotes enmity or hatred is considered an offence. The above offences result in an imprisonment of over 3 years. Arguments against Section 66A. It was stated that the term offensive, annoyance are not well defined or vague. The Act isn't clear and anything can be misconstrued as offensive by people. The Act increases the scope of abuse and intimidation towards people working in the media. The Act curbs freedom of speech and expression, which is an essential fundamental right in the Constitution. The section was most notably used to catch people who made remarks against the government or politicians. Even after all these arguments, the government resisted and said that the introduction of the Section 66A doesn't violate the fundamental right. They also pointed that the restrictions was levied on certain words only. However, it wasn't stated which ones. It was also stated that with the rise in the number of social media space users in the country, there comes a necessity to regulate the online content floating the cyberspace just like regulations are levied on print and podcast media. However, in 2015, the Supreme Court cancelled the Section 66A of the Act. They stated that it is unconstitutional and it violated Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution. Now let's conclude this episode. One can clearly argue the fact that social media has been a boon as well as a bane in the lives of everyone. It is a new media and is evolving each day with evolutionary technology that keeps advancing its reach. The idea of having access to any information and getting the transparency one desires is a great feeling and makes it a great source of communication as well. However, the issues that impact the essence of social media are much greater than its benefits. Ethics have been laid down by organizations as codes as well as social networking websites themselves. Applications like Facebook, Instagram and YouTube do exercise their own codes of ethics on the content being posted. However, the control on content cannot be applied unless it has been posted. Therefore, the situation remains the same. Unless someone reports the same, the content keeps floating across the cyberspace and it is readily available even after being taken down. The IT Act 2000 does protect the consumer of social media as well as the content creator, but a large part of it is focused on cyber financial crimes or to monitor public activity. Though the decryption of messages is necessarily for national security, however, it is also a threat to privacy. Therefore, one must be mindful of the usage of social media, its access and the amount of data a user posts on it. Now it's time for a quick recap. The introduction of new technologies has opened a new world of communication in the past 3 decades. Social media has introduced a variety of modes for groups, organizations and individuals to interact, comment and share on information, ideas and belief. Unlimited amount of content is created on the cyberspace today, and this has created the necessity for the internet to remain transparent and protect the rights of the content creator as well as the consumers of the content. The ethics of social media can be described as a group of ethical guidelines that define our conduct in the cyber social space. The ethic guides us to use social media without causing a breach of any law or of anyone's right. The ethics of social media are plagued by several issues like copyright violation, privacy violations, etc. The IT Act 2000 was passed by the Indian Parliament as a preliminary law to deal with cyber crimes and ensure that cyberspace is free of crimes. The Act was amended in the year 2008 with the inclusive of Article 66A. However, it was later revoked by the Supreme Court. This is all we have for you today. We shall soon return with another interesting episode. Until then, thank you.